Dropsite News has identified the highest paid employees of the Israeli doxing outfit, better known as Canary mission. Now, I myself have been a target of theirs, and I welcome it. I will continue running my mouth about Israel's war crimes and the fact that we should absolutely decouple from that pariah state, that genocidal state that continues to drag us into wars that don't benefit us in any way, shape, or form. That, of course, has nothing to do with Judaism or Jewish people, but it has everything to do with a foreign government that has been not a great ally to the US. So with all of that in mind, let's talk about what Dropsite found. And I just want to give a big shout out to Jacqueline Sweet, who did this reporting, and she did a fantastic job. So last January, Dropsite News was able to confirm that the site actually does operate out of Israel. So make no mistake about it, this is an Israeli outfit that is attacking and targeting Americans who are critical of Israel. Now, to add insult to injury, Israel wouldn't even exist if it weren't for the United States bankrolling the hell out of it. So let's remember the fact that they live off of our welfare and then have the audacity to bully and harass our American citizens because they dare to criticize a foreign country. So the unlisted website data revealed that an employee paid by the Israeli nonprofit Megamot Shalom as a writer provided content for Canary Mission's dossiers of targets, confirming earlier reporting by The Forward, which, by the way, is, I believe, a Jewish publication, that Megamot Shalom's only known activity appears to be providing support to Canary Mission. Okay, interesting. So we know that it's an Israeli outfit, great. Now, The Forward back in 2018 uncovered evidence that Megamot Shalom was formed as an entity running Canary Mission's operations by a UK-born businessman by the name of Jonathan Bash, who now lives in Jerusalem. Now, Jonathan Bash has made a real name for himself, bashing others for justified critique and criticism of Israel. That's what his claim to fame is now. Congratulations. So Dropsite has also identified 5 people whom Megamot Shalom has employed as so-called content writers, editors, and consultants. And they did so through a review of Megamot's business filings with the Israeli government between 2016 and 2024. This is getting real good, real juicy. So who are they? You'll be shocked to find that these are all American-born individuals who later moved to Israel, right? Land that they believe belongs to them. Okay, so you have Elihu David Stone, he's from Boston, now living in Israel. Yehuda Hakorhen from New York, of course. Abigail Borstein from New York. Aaron Dickel from Bethesda, Maryland. And then you have Alexander Duncan, who's also from Bethesda, Maryland. They're all based in Israel now. And they work for Canary Mission. These are the top 5 highest paid content creators, content writers, editors, and consultants. So these were the top 5, and I want to just kind of give you a little more information about them and what they're up to. So, by the way, just a side note, their American citizenship should be revoked. They're Israelis now, right? Great. So you shouldn't, since you have made a name for yourself, you have dedicated your life to doxing American citizens for criticizing the country you actually care about, you should give up your American citizenship. But that's just a side note. Now, there are more people associated with Canary Mission than these 5, of course, but here's what you should know about the 5 that we're talking about. So non-public websites revealing staging material for Canary Mission's website showing that someone uploading content for a dossier of a pro-Palestine activist on the site matched the name of a person listed as a content writer on Megamot Shalom's business listing, a UK-born writer named Alex Ben Carson, now living in Jerusalem. Okay, so that's one other person that was identified aside from the 5 individuals that I mentioned earlier. So where does Megamot Shalom get its funding? Americans, of course. American donations are moved to Megamot via a New York-based nonprofit called Central Fund of Israel. So there is a nonprofit in America enjoying the tax-exempt benefits of being a nonprofit. And they're taking donations from Americans and then funneling that money to an organization that harasses, bullies, and doxes Americans for practicing their First Amendment rights and being critical of a foreign country. That is what's taking place here. So let's dive in on Elihu David Stone, because he appears to be the one creating dossiers on me. And he has associations with some real creeps. And I'm not kidding when I say that. So Elihu David Stone was selected as one of the 1992 Wexner Heritage Program Fellows. Stone stayed involved with Wexner, attending an alumni retreat in 1994 and writing for the group's website several times, most recently in 2017. Now, we've learned quite a bit about Wexner and his close ties and association with Jeffrey Epstein. In fact, Jeffrey Epstein was a trustee of the Wexner Heritage Program. Pretty gross, Elihu, pretty gross. What have you been up to? Maybe we should do some digging into your reputation. Now, despite being involved in a program that had a notorious pedophile as a trustee, by the way, a lot of Israel ties with Epstein, right? Stone has spent some time targeting us for having a problem with things like, genocide. In February, he shared a Canary Mission post on Facebook about the Young Turks podcast, writing, "Anti-Semitism is a virus. See what it does to people?" Right, because being against killing innocent people, including children, means you're anti-Semitic. That's how they're rebranding the word anti-Semitism. Anyone who doesn't like genocide, who doesn't like land theft, who doesn't like the barbarism that we've all seen on our screens for 2.5 years straight, they're anti-Semites for having a problem with it. Right, okay. Do they understand that they're making anti-Semitism or rebranding it to sound like a good thing? Maybe don't do that. But they can't help themselves because they don't actually care about the well-being of Jewish people. They care about a foreign country that they moved to. They were born here, moved to Israel, give up your US citizenship. I don't want you ever coming back here. So there was a federal lawsuit underway, or there was a federal lawsuit. It actually has a ruling that I love. Now, they were targeting Canary Mission over First Amendment violations, which are obvious. It was filed by the American Association of University Professors and the Center for, give me one second. I'm sorry, and the Middle East Studies Association. So these two organizations filed this lawsuit against Canary Mission over violations of the First Amendment. And based on what DHS officials in a sworn deposition said, they said that Canary Mission's dossiers were used by the Department of Homeland Security in 2025 to build lists of foreign students who express pro-Palestine views, with over 75 people identified based on Canary Mission's anonymous blacklists. So they create these blacklists, and the DHS under Trump is like, yes, daddy, tell me which foreign students I should target, throw in prison and deport. Like pathetic little cucks. So in January, a federal judge ruled in favor of the plaintiffs and said the case revealed an unconstitutional conspiracy to violate the First Amendment. Now, look, our system of government has been corrupted. The important elements that actually represent Americans and what's best for Americans has been partly dismantled, but at least we still have some semblance of justice. In this case, justice did play out. Now there's a group of 70 American religious and civil rights organizations that want DHS to open a Foreign Agents Registration Act investigation into Canary Mission, since the group's operations are, based in Israel by Americans who left this country to go live in Israel and target American citizens for practicing their First Amendment rights and criticizing a foreign country. That's the reality of the situation. So if you're wondering why someone like Jake Tapper would have such a hard-on, or hate boner for drop site, this is why. This is actual journalism. This is actual investigation. This is information that benefits the American people rather than, misinformation or disinformation meant to manipulate Americans into supporting a foreign country that has done nothing but take our money, drag us into wars, and if we don't play ball, threaten us and destroy the livelihoods of some of the Americans who unfortunately weren't lucky enough to be able to fight back. No more of this. And for the billionth time, there is nothing on this planet, including Canary mission, that's going to shut me up about the atrocities being committed by Israel with our money and our support. I'm an American. That's my money too. And it is shameful that our government is implicated in the atrocities carried out by Israel, but it is, and that's the truth.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.